There are two types of SEO. There's website SEO, and then there's content SEO. See how I did that? So I used to have a website SEO company. Now it worked and it was affordable. I only charged $300 a month at the time, and we would get their pages ranked #1 on Google. It was a ton of work, okay? It was a ton of work. I figured out how to make it affordable, but that doesn't work anymore. Here's the good news. Content SEO is way easier, and you get way more results than we ever did with website SEO. So about 8 years ago now, I left website SEO behind and I became more and more an expert of this certain type of content SEO. I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it, and by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how long it takes to get different benchmarks, how long it takes to generate leads from content SEO. So I'm going to start off this episode talking about a discovery I made that really let me know that there was a brand new type of SEO. And I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the old type and the new type. I'm going to share several examples with you that you can follow, and then I'm going to talk about proper timelines and the expectations you can have so you know how long it will take to get the results that you want from SEO. Here are the details of my story. Okay, so I had a web design company. We designed beautiful websites. My clients were happy, but I was not happy because I thought, man, these websites are not getting traffic. So I created an SEO service. We now got these pages ranked on the top of Google, and my clients were happy. Now they had beautiful websites and they had people visiting them. But I also looked at the websites and thought, wow, now they're getting traffic, but they're not making sales. So I learned how to make promo videos, and I got really good at video so that we could convert visitors into customers. The system was working great, but I didn't know that it was short-lived. So let me give you some of the details. To get these pages ranked on the top of Google, we had to do a lot of work. We first created a how-to video. We put it on the page. We then transcribed all the words from that video and turned it into an article that looked nice. We then designed infographics that visually told the same content. We put those on Pinterest and linked those back to the page. We did article marketing, where we would do article spinning and send different versions of the article out to different pages that would link back to the page. We did blog commenting and letting people know and linking it back to the page. We put on all the right keywords and tags. Okay, and we did a lot more SEO stuff. And then I made a discovery. One piece, okay, the how-to video over on YouTube got 50 times more views than the web page that was ranking #1 on Google. Whoa! I mean, that's huge, right? 50 times more views than the page that was ranking #1 on Google. And I just had a paradigm shift, and I started to shift my company. We phased out our SEO service. We phased out our web design service. We were getting such great results with just an individual video on YouTube that I focused my whole company that direction. And that's how we're achieving such great results on YouTube. I mean, some of my channels are generating 7 figures per month. Now we're going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of going after phrases that have high volume versus those with low volume. And the unexpected thing is the phrases that have a low volume will get you much better results. So let me explain. The biggest disadvantage to high volume phrases is high competition. The higher the search volume, the higher the competition. Now, to put it bluntly, if you have high competition, you won't rank. Okay, you'll be pushed way down and you'll get no views. That's a pretty big disadvantage. When you follow my leaf strategy, making sure that the titles you're picking are leaf topics, low volume is great because we have no competition. This means when you post your video to YouTube, you'll rank instantly. And all we need to get this rolling is a trickle of views. You post your video instantly and that trickle starts. Another disadvantage of high volume phrases is the topics are broad and they attract a wide variety of people, not a specific type of person. So that you can better understand how this is a disadvantage, I want to talk about the advantage of a low volume phrase. When you title a video a really long and specific leaf topic and you have low volume, you're going after your target audience. I mean, think about it for a minute. They go to Google or YouTube and they type in this 9-word phrase, and then they see your title in your video. They're like, wow, that's exactly what I was searching for. And so they're going to watch the video all the way to the end because there's no guessing that they are your audience for this video. So what that does is you totally impress the YouTube algorithm. YouTube says, wow, this video is important. People watch it all the way to the end. Now let's start suggesting it or promoting it to new audiences. And so you start to get more and more views. With a high volume phrase, the algorithm is just not impressed. And so you don't get that promotion and that suggestion. So hopefully you can see that it's kind of night and day why you want to use the leaf strategy and go after these low competition, low volume phrases. Now, next I'm going to show you some examples of success with a timeline, but I want to give you an invitation first. If you're finding value here, please subscribe. Hit that red button below. Go ahead and do that now. And then next to it, there's a little bell. And if you click that bell, that turns on alerts. So when I upload a new video to YouTube, YouTube will email you and let you know, hey, Nate just uploaded a new video. So hit subscribe, turn on the bell. All right, let's continue. Now I want to show you some examples of success. I produce a lot of channels. So these are channels that we follow my strategy to the letter. And I want to show you the results that we've got. So here's Paul Jenkins. His channel is Live on Purpose TV. He's a positivity psychologist and he talks a lot about parenting and about relationships. Let's show you what happened on his channel. So let me give you the timeline on this one. The Live on Purpose TV channel with Paul Jenkins had 235 subscribers. So we started launching 5 episodes per week on November 6th, 2017. And look at the first 4 months. Okay, this is 4 months exactly, so maybe subtract off a week or so there. It looks pretty dull. It looks pretty boring. That is what we experience on every channel. The first 4 months are very boring, and then exciting things start to happen around that 4-month mark. In Paul's case, about a week before that 4-month mark, we had a mini spike, and we got up to almost 2,000 views in a single day. Now I'm going to change the custom dates here. I'm going to take you out just a couple more months. So I ended this on March 6th. Let's go out to May 6th. Okay, so this is the first spike that I showed you that almost got to 2,000. Well, look, now we had a spike right here on April 13th of 18 that was 9,000 views, and we've had more spikes since then. So hopefully this gives you a first glimpse of what a timeline might look like on your channel. The first 4 months were really boring. Then we had a mini spike. A month or so later, we had a much bigger spike. And as you can see over here on the side, we're up to 193,000 subscribers. We average 15,000 views every single day. This next example, I'm real excited to show you. It's Stan the Annuity Man. And you could imagine what he talks about, or maybe you don't even know what an annuity is. That's what he talks about, all about annuities. I want to show you something. Notice the number of views. So this video that was launched 2 days ago has 233 views. The one launched 5 days ago, 282 episodes. 401, 263, 191, 238. So we're not getting like the high hundreds, or we're not getting thousands of views on these videos, but Stan's given me permission to share a lot of cool stats about his channel, that even a channel like this, I mean, look, we're up to 12 or approaching 1,300 subscribers. This isn't a massive channel, yet it is hugely profitable for his business. Prior to YouTube, Stan built a very successful business. The year 2019 was his record year. So his business is doing better and better each year. But at the end of 2019, I started to produce his channel, and we started launching 5 episodes per week. We started laying that foundation of search, and then he started getting the phone calls. He started getting leads. Well, by June of 2020, mid-June, and so we're not even halfway through the year yet, he had surpassed his 2019 revenue, and he attributes that growth and that increase all to what we've done on YouTube. His channel is so niche and focused that the people that find him need his services. Now, what I've done here is I've brought up lifetime. So this is going clear back to August of 19, a little bit before we launched, but you see, it's just gradual, steady growth. Stan's is the only channel that I've not experienced a spike, but it has seen consistent, steady growth. We've just been getting more and more search traffic. People who have questions about annuities really need to find Stan. Also, annuities and really niche videos about a product, they're less likely to be suggested to new audiences. They're definitely not going to be trending type topics, like something about politics or something about a cute cat or something like that. Those type topics might get a lot of views, but for this type of a channel, how-to annuities, they're really, really profitable and they're great lead generators. So if you have a really, really niche business, this is a good example for you to study. Now, this next example is Noelle Randall. She talks about real estate, specifically Airbnb real estate. And she also talks about business and entrepreneurship and investing. So let me show you what's happened on her channel. So she had built the channel on her own for a couple of years. And what I'm showing you here is the year 2019. She started to see some growth and she got up to 6,500 subscribers, okay? Then she hired me and my team to produce her channel, and by January 21 of the year 2020, that's when we launched doing 5 episodes per week. All right, what we're looking at is January, and again, we started launching around this point, January 21, all the way through July 31. Okay, so the first 4 months, we see are very, very flat. Then we get right at that 4-month mark, we see a pivot where we start to angle upward. And week after week, like her most was around 1,000 views in a day, or just over 1,000 views in a day. Well, very quickly over the next couple of weeks, we got up to 1,800. We broke 2,000. Now we're up to 2,300. The next week, 2,600, 2,800. Week after week, we were getting pretty excited. And by the end of July, we passed 5,000 views in a single day a couple of times. While we hadn't seen an exponential spike like we have on some of the channels, with Noelle's channel, we definitely saw a pivot. And week after week, we saw this growth. It was pretty exciting. Before I show you what happened next, I want to talk about the traffic, because this video is all about SEO and getting ranking. Okay, so up to this point, you see that we kind of had an equal mix of search, suggested, and browse. Suggested is where YouTube starts to promote you to new audiences. SEO results are this search. That's where most of our traffic was coming from earlier in the year. And because we followed the other ingredients that you'll learn on this channel, if this is search and this is suggested month by month started to inch its way up and above. Now let me go back and I'll show you what happened next. In fact, I'll just add the entire month of August. So boom. You know, obviously this is huge. We were really excited about 5,000 views, and then we just started passing 20,000 views in a single day. And usually spikes settle back down. Noelle's channel hasn't. Let me take it all the way to today. We're filming on November 13th, so I can take it through yesterday, November 12th. I'll hit apply. Look at that. So we've had some ups and downs, but we've even had our best day was 31,000 views in a single day. So does that give you a proper timeline of what you might expect? Noelle's first 4 months of following my strategy were very boring, but the tail end of that started to get better and better and better. And then her channel just exploded. A couple weeks ago, she crossed 100,000 subscribers. Another thing that I can talk about in the context of the timeline is revenue. Like, when can you expect to actually make money on your channel, not just get the SEO rankings? In Noelle's case, she told me that right off the bat, within the first month or two of launching with my strategy, she started generating leads. Now, what I can show you is actually ad revenue. And you'll see here that the ad revenue, you know, for the first little while, we would make $27 a day or $24 in a day or $22. And then when we had the jump up to 20,000 views in a day, you know, we'd have $400 or $500 or $600 days. She's had a day as high as $1,100 in a single day. If we just look at October was almost $22,000 in ad revenue. Now, I'm not going to share with you her business revenue, but I can say that the ad revenue is just the icing on the cake. What I'm known for is my expertise on YouTube. I produce dozens of different channels that are doing extremely well, and all of my channels are educational. I really want you to understand the strategy that I use so that you can use it too. If you follow this strategy, you'll get tens of thousands of views every single day of people who want to learn from you. I'm going to share with you the abridged version of this strategy now, but I have the whole strategy right there in this episode, and I'll reference that episode later as well. So there are 5 ingredients. If you want to get massive results on YouTube, educational videos, you need to follow these 5 ingredients. You can't leave one out. Ingredient number 1, you've got to follow my leaf strategy. If you don't know what the leaf strategy is, watch that video so you can learn my tree analogy and really master the leaf strategy. So many people follow the other 4 steps and maybe go halfway with the leaf strategy, but you won't get results. They just don't get views. And again, I go into that in that episode that I've linked to up there. Okay, ingredient number 2, you want your episodes to be 10 to 12 minutes in length on average. So that means some episodes can be 7 minutes, some episodes might be 15 or even 20 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes should be the max, but shoot for an average of 10 to 12 minutes, and that will make sure that you get the results. Okay, ingredient number 3, you need a 50% average view duration or retention rate. Okay, what that means is if people start watching your video and then quickly leave 30 seconds in or 90 seconds in, you're not going to have 50% of your video watched on average. Okay, you want a lot of people to watch all the way to the end, so you have at least an average of 50%. Now, how do you know that? YouTube tells you. Once you've launched a video and it's gotten some views, you can look at the analytics. YouTube provides you way more data than this too, but this is a good one to look at. What's the average view duration for this video? And why does this one have 70% and this one only have 40%? Yeah, you might want to compare those videos and see why. Okay, ingredient number 4 is you need to have custom thumbnails. YouTube will take a random screenshot from your video and show that as the still image, but you've got to design custom thumbnails if you want a better click-through rate, and you have to have a better click-through rate to be able to succeed and get YouTube to promote you. When I say YouTube promotion formula, YouTube will promote your videos to more and more people. You've got to follow all 5 of these ingredients. Okay, ingredient number 5 is volume. Really, you've got to make hundreds of videos. Now, in the other video, when I share with you the leaf strategy, you'll have a better understanding of what number is best for you so that you can get the results that you want. So be sure to bookmark that video and watch it next. It's called How to Get a Lot of Views on YouTube. Now hold on just a minute. I just noticed that you haven't subscribed yet. So there's a red button. Go ahead and click that red button and subscribe to this channel. And then right next to it, there's a bell. Click that button as well. That turns on alerts so that each time I upload a new episode, you'll get an email from YouTube and you won't miss a thing. Let's talk about a timeline. What are some proper expectations of when you can start to generate leads through this content SEO, these videos that we're putting out on YouTube with this strategy? When you launch with my strategy, it takes 4 months to really build a level of trust with the algorithm to where they start to promote you, okay? You will start to show up in search on day 1, and your channel will grow gradually and bit by bit, to step by step, but with all the work that you're putting into it, it doesn't really seem to reflect in the results that you're getting in terms of leads. You're not going to see that exponential growth until after you've been at this for 4 months. At that point, you start to get more and more suggested traffic, and that's when you can start to see exponential growth. This seems to work as a really good filter for those people who don't really have the commitment to stick with it for 4 months, because you might only get 1,000 subscribers in your first 4 or 5 months. And if you stick with this strategy, by the end of the year, it's not unthinkable that you could have 100,000 subscribers, in just 1 year. With that foundation, now you're ready to learn the how. Either click right here or right here. The next video I teach you my strategy. It's titled How to Find the Best Keywords for YouTube Video. Go ahead and watch this one next.